My name is Tekila Mcknight. My story is kind of hard for me to tell because it's my life, so I'll just ask for you to bear with me with this story because it's hard. I never told a story before. I call it, I'm a product of my environment. That's what I say in my story because my mother had me when she was 15 years old in Gardenia Gardens apartment. I don't know if you all are familiar with these apartments here in Gainesville, but my family was like one of the first families to move into those apartments here in Gainesville back when I was born. My grandmother had my mother when she was 15. Well, my mom, she was 15 when she had me, so she was still a child. She didn't take care of me. She didn't raise me. And eventually, she had another child 3 years after me, my brother, and she didn't take care of him. A lot of people babysat us when we were little. We went like from place to place. When I was 3 years old, someone was babysitting my brother, and they couldn't find my mom, so she left my brother in a car to go to work, and my brother almost died in the car. The police had to break the window to get my brother out of the car, and so my mom found out about it, and she went and got something and threw in the lady's face or whatever, and she went to prison at 18 years old. So me and my brother was without a mother. We was like without anyone. My cousin got both of us, but my brother's dad got him. And my cousin, she continued to raise me until I was 13 years old, but I never had a mother or a father ever to raise me. When I was 14, I got pregnant with my first child. Had my child at 15. I have 5 kids now, 3 daughters which are grown. They did not have their kids at 15. They were all adults when they had their kids. But even with me having kids, well, I had a child at 15. I had another one at 16. By the time I graduated high school, I already had 2 kids. We were living with my grandmother. We didn't have anywhere. We didn't have enough room there, so I ended up getting emancipated when I was 16 years old. I had seen it on TV that someone got emancipated, so someone told me, like the officer friendly told me to go to Three Rivers Legal Service. I went and got emancipated and got my own place at 16 years old for me and my 2 kids. I did graduate high school on time with 2 kids because I grew up on Northeast First Avenue on the east side of Gainesville. And during those times, that was a bad neighborhood. That was a bad place to live. That's all I saw in my life was drugs, drug dealers. And so I didn't have any family. I didn't have anybody to tell me anything. I went to that route. I dated drug dealers to get my needs met, to get my kids' needs met. I got into a lot of fights because of the lifestyle that I was living with drug dealers and other girls in that same, situation. And I ended up getting into trouble. I got into fights. I went to jail. I got
Take your time.
Yes, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Here, baby.
I ended up getting in trouble in 2009, and the judge the plea was 2 years probation. Because I didn't do the crime that they were saying I did, I took it to trial, and I ended up I didn't know anything about it. I left my kids that day. I went to work. I took them to school and I went to court, and I never came back home. I went to prison for 4 years and left my kids. Before I went to prison, I could go and get a job anywhere. I could go in and they hired me on the spot. I got jobs with no problem. When I got out of prison, everywhere I went, I still went, and they wanted to hire me on the spot. But when they looked at my record, they told me they couldn't, have me working there because I have a prison record. And so from coming home from prison, after coming out of prison, it's been really hard. When you have that prison label on you, no one wants to give you a chance. All they see is black and white. They can meet you in person, but when they see that label, they don't want to, give you that chance because they see what they have written there, but they don't know our stories. They don't know where we come from. So my story is basically just like, I'm still confused about my story. Sorry.
You're doing good.
Speaking the heart, got you. Doing
Yeah,
good.
you got this.
Yeah.
That's basically it. I've been home and I've been trying to. When I got out of prison, I was working as a manager at a restaurant. They hired me as soon as I got out. I think in 2 weeks I got hired as a manager, and I was working there like maybe for 6 weeks or something. No, I was working there longer than that, like 2 or 3 months. And they found out I had a record and they let me go. So I ended up going to hotels and working at hotels or whatever. Everywhere I went, I haven't been able to get housing. I wasn't able to get anything. I went and created my own business. I have a cleaning service. That's my shirt that I have on TNT. This is like, our stories are like, we are people. We just been through some things. It's not, my record doesn't define who I am as a person.
That's right. That's right.
And what I've been through doesn't define me as a person. Because even though I went through all those things, I think that I still, I made good decisions on my own, not with a mother or father telling me what to do. I did it on my own. No one told me how to get emancipated. No one told me to graduate on time with my class, with 2 kids. My 3 daughters all graduated on time. And one actually graduated early. So this is my story and where I am now. I'm a grandmother, a mother, and I'm just trying to get better. Just trying to do better in life.